Starting. Okay. Welcome to the horror show interview number 5, and I'm here today with author Chris McInally.
Hi guys, how are we?
And we're going to discuss some things about his books and horror movies in general. And he says he has a little exclusive for this episode of horror show interviews. So let's start asking questions. The first one is, how is it working with Severed Press? Like, how is it?
Yeah, look, working really well with Severed Press. I really do enjoy working with Gary and those guys over there. They're unlike some publishers; they don't really mess with your vision. So if you get to tell the story that you want to tell. So it's not like, say, a producer on a movie, who comes in and says, no, it has to be done like this and it has to be done like that. So they're really supportive of, the vision that you have in your head and the story that you want to tell. So I couldn't say anything bad about them whatsoever. I really do enjoy working with them.
That's good. That's good. Because there's a lot of movie companies out there that would love to mess with visions, but it's good that the book company is just sticking to what you want to write.
Yeah, no, they're really supportive. Really supportive.
Actually, I'm going to reverse the question around so we can make it fit. Where's that question?
Okay.
Oh, would you like to see Apex as a movie?
Oh yeah, I would absolutely love to see. I'd love to see any of my books on the big screen. But yeah, I think Apex could be done quite well. I just think like the whole horror and the action, and the suspense and stuff like that, I think could transmit really well to the big screen. So definitely 100% would love to see it, on the big screen.
Yeah. Would it matter what company made it? Like if Sci-Fi Channel made it, or would you could you see it as a TV movie or a big theatrical movie?
Are you trying to get me in trouble here?
No. I should say, if you wanted to make it into a movie, what company would you pursue first?
Legendary. I think honestly, Legendary at the moment, I think they're at the top of their game. I love everything that they're bringing out. Whether it be the Monsterverse or Batman. I do feel like they're killing it right now. So if in a dream world, if I could have Apex or any of my books made into a movie, it would be Legendary.
Yeah. Also, this is his book Apex, which I've also read and reviewed on this channel. I would say a plot synopsis, but I feel he would say it better. So, how would you describe Apex?
I would describe Apex as a cross between Jaws and Lake Placid. That's how I pitched it to Severed Press. And they got back to me within a week and signed me to the publishing house. Yeah, so it's basically a story about human manipulation of the environment and the unexpected consequences of that. Yeah, and it's very bloody.
There's
I don't think anyone gets out unscathed in some form or fashion.
Very true, because like there's certain characters, I won't spoil anything, but it twists a lot of what you're expecting.
Yeah. I wanted to keep the reader guessing the whole time,
Yeah. Also, his name is Chris McInally, or because the spine, McInally, because the spine will screw with you. How does Severed Press actually come up with the covers? Like, do they just digitally make them with 2 images, or?
I have absolutely no idea. That's something that I've never actually sat down and discussed with them. For all I know, they've got a a graphic artist on deck. Maybe they outsource it. I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because the book is about a Mako shark, but I can't tell on the cover. It kind of looks like a bull shark.
I'm of the same opinion. Funnily enough, I showed it to a marine biologist, and the marine biologist couldn't identify it.
It's like a mix between a thrasher and a bull shark. It's like they took two images and just put it together.
I honestly, I think it's a bull. I think it's got all the characteristics of a bull shark.
Yeah, the flat head, the fin.
Yeah.
Actually, if you look at the dorsal fin, it looks like it's backwards.
Oh, okay. Wonder if it's twisting in the light or something.
Maybe. I like the diver in the cage though, with ready to stab the shark.
Yeah, well, that was. They came to me and they said, right, because that's another great thing about Severed. They always ask the writer, what you want to see on the cover, and they pretty much got it spot on with what I sent them. I just said, look, a diver doing battle with a shark in a cage, and yeah, they came back with that within about a week. So yeah, it was. I was really impressed.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Well, I'm just typing back to somebody on the Facebook, on the YouTube thing.
Oh yeah, cool.
But when I was looking at the cover, I always thought of the movie Sharks' Treasure from 1976. It kind of has the same cover, but it's more drawn.
Okay,
it's drawn, so it.
Okay, right.
It's from the 70s, so everything was hand drawn pretty much.
Yeah.
Same with what?
Same with your movie posters. Everything was it was drawn. Everything was a portrait.
Yep. Like if George Lucas could make a new Star Wars poster, I think he'd change everything to CGI, but we'll save that for a different day. Oh, why did you decide on a Mako shark?
I thought that a great white, for instance, would be too unrealistic. I think for a great white, obviously it's a massive predator, so it would go through the biomass in the lake too quickly before it then turned on humans. So I thought I have to downsize. And I've always liked the look of a Mako shark. To me, it does look like a miniature great white. I love the way the teeth protrude from the jaw, and I love the pointed snout. And I love the big black eyes. Just those soulless Michael Myers like eyes. So I thought, yeah, that's what I've got to go for here, because I thought a bull shark would be too obvious, because they can move quite easily between salt water and fresh water. Obviously, I don't want to give away too much of the story here for those who haven't actually read it. But yeah, there's a reason in there why there is this Mako in this area, this unexpected area. Yeah.
Plus, great white sharks and bull sharks. They're overused to some extent, but Mako has only been in a few movies.
Yeah. Like I think I only remember Mako's being in Deep Blue Sea. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember any other sort of action horror tales with a Mako. I could be wrong, but I don't remember any.
Yeah, I don't remember any off the top of my head, except for like maybe a movie with sharks in a pack with a Mako and great white and hammerhead and stuff, kind of mixed in with them all.
Yeah.
Makos really haven't been in the forefront, really, besides Deep Blue Sea. And even Deep Blue Sea 2 is going to have bull sharks, not Makos.
Yeah, right. Okay, right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's kind of disappointing, but it's what sci-fi wants.
Yeah, it's up to them.
Yeah, I mean, not to make bull sharks seem any less aggressive than Mako sharks. Also, Mako sharks are really fast, too. Like, they are one of the fastest sharks, I think.
Yeah. Well, they've just got that torpedo-shaped body. They just cut right through the water.
Yeah. Okay, so before we stop talking about Flux for a bit, Are there any new books in the works? Possibly a Flux. I mean, not Flux. Apex 2.
Yeah. There is. I'm currently adding the finishing touches to it. Yeah, so I hope to have it done within the next, couple of weeks, next month or so. My current word count is 71,000, so it's going to be more than double the size of the original Apex. Yeah, I just hope it lives up to the original.
Yeah. Also, how long does it usually take for a finished work to come out onto the Kindle market and then the paperback market?
With Severed, they move really really fast. They're really good. Like to give you an idea, I sent off the pitch and the manuscript for Apex, and within a week they sent me the contract. Within a week of that, I had the cover art, and then within about another week, I had the proof copy. Yeah, so it was about a month, and it hit the market at least in Kindle version, and then a week after that, it was out in paperback.
Wow.
Yeah, they move really quick.
If you don't want to spoil this, you don't have to. But do you know if is Haley coming back for the Apex 2, or if you don't have to spoil it if you don't want to?
I'm going to leave you guessing.
All right.
All I'll say is there is the return of some familiar characters.
Okay, I pretty much know who's coming back, except for because I know who survives and who doesn't. But I'm not going to spoil that. I have a feeling I know who's coming back though.
Yeah.
Or yeah, because there's a certain group of certain people in the book that pissed me off, and I'm sure they're gonna. Thank you so much for that. So let's move on to Flux. Flux was your second book that you released for Separate Press? Okay. So this is Flux. I haven't read this or his other book. I plan to soon, though, because it's going to be one of my upcoming reviews. But how about a little bit of a plot synopsis of Flux from the author?
Okay, so I suppose the best way to describe Flux would be I guess you would say post-apocalyptic. So there's this mysterious event that occurs, and all these different epochs in Earth's history are melded together. They call this event the Flux because everything fluctuated, everything changed. So you have a world in which there are humans, there are dinosaurs, megafauna. The landscape, the topography of the entire world changes, and everyone's just thrown into this melting pot, and they have to survive. And Flux, the book is centered around a particular settlement that has managed to survive after this event, and they have some struggles that they have to go through to make sure that they continue to survive. Yeah.
Well, that works because I'm in a post-apocalyptic kind of binge lately, so I'll have to read it soon. I recently watched Wheels of Fire and 2019 After the Fall of New York.
Yep.
And I really like those, so I'm sure I'll like Flux.
Fingers crossed. It's my favorite book of the lot. Like if I were to suggest that, like if anyone were to come to me and say, what book should I get, I'd say go for Flux.
So how long did it take you? How about this? How was writing your book compared to releasing it? Like, was there any doubts when you sent them Apex? Like, were you worried that they would?
Yeah, like that's going to go through any writer's mind. You do have to be prepared for rejection. Like, for instance, I completed my PhD in Irish political history, and I've sent off that manuscript to, I think, upwards of a dozen publishers, and it's still not been accepted. But once again, the fiction market is much more lucrative than non-fiction, I would say. But in any event, any author has to be prepared for rejection. I've just been very lucky with my books with Severed Press.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely more of a market for fiction than nonfiction, especially because there's so many topics that are not in the realm of reality that people can escape to.
Yeah.
Which actually kind of brings me to the next book that you wrote called Deep Black. Before we go into the plot synopsis, I just wanted to describe a book I read and reviewed I haven't reviewed, it's coming up soon, a while ago, called Slimer. And I read the plot synopsis and it was quite interesting because it just brought me back those memories, and I really liked reading Slimer. So, except for that took place on an oil rig. So, but the whole thing about the scientific experiments is really interesting to me. So, how would you describe it?
I would describe Deep Black probably as a cross between Resident Evil and, say, Under Siege, something like that. So like I was always a big fan of the Resident Evil games, and this is sort of my ode to Resident Evil.
Yeah, I mean, Under Siege was a fun action movie too, with Steven Seagal. The second one was kind of mad to me, but yeah, they had some CGI in that movie, but it was like, oh boy. Oh, I have a question. So, out of all three of your books, can you name your favorite character that you've written?
Yeah, my favorite character would have to be Ambi.
And which book is that one from? Is he from?
Flux. I can't give too much away. But he's my absolute favorite character I've ever written. And I would love to, if hopefully if Flux does well, I can bring that character back.
Yeah. I still haven't read Flux, obviously, so I can't wait to read. I'll probably pick it up after I finish Island Red. What was your favorite character from Apex? Or how about this? What was your favorite character or least favorite character from Apex?
My favorite character. Yep. Yeah, my favorite character from Apex would be Haley, hands down. And probably my least favorite character would be Demi. But I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, I'll speak a little bit without spoiling anything. But there's a group of 5 characters who are studying in the lake, right?
Yeah, roughly. There's 5. Yeah, that's right. There's 5 investigating this lake. Yep.
And the way it plays out, it's so intriguing because you think you know who's going to be the main character, but pulls the rug out from underneath you.
Time and time again.
Yeah, I mean, there is a couple other characters I won't spoil, but they're not really spoiler worthy because they weren't really spoils in the book. But there's a sheriff character in the book, and I thought he was going to come in to be I'm not going to spoil what happens. I don't think what I say is going to spoil anything, but I thought he was going to play a bigger part. But he was an interesting character too.
Yeah, look, I liked Ramirez. Ramirez is a good character. Yeah.
He has this attitude about him near the end, and it's really good.
Yeah. He's straightforward, to the point, but so is Haley. I think they're mirror images of the other. In some ways.
Yeah, I mean, near the end, you think that it's going to be a fair fight between everyone in the shark, but it gets kind of one-sided. pretty
Yeah,
easily. Like, oh, this shark, it's only a small shark. We can take care of that. Nope, never mind.
Still an
So the,
apex predator.
yeah. Um, oh, so I have a question from someone. It's about a sci-fi channel film. I don't know if you've seen it, but I have.
Uh-huh.
He says, "Have you ever watched a movie called Chupacabra Terror? And if so, what's your opinion?" Varen said
I've
this.
heard, I have
He's,
actually heard of it. I've never watched it. Yeah, it's one of those movies that I would love to sit down and have a bad movie night, and just like binge on them. So yeah, I'd
yeah,
definitely give that a shot because I think that like I've done actually quite a bit of research into El Chupacabras. I'd love to write a book, centered around Chupacabra. So yeah, I might have to be doing some research with Chupacabra Terror soon.
don't get your research from Chupacabra Terror. There's no research to be found. um, but it's
Is
actually
that the
about.
one on, is that the one on the boat?
Yep,
Like on a ship? Yeah,
yep.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
a cruise ship. It's actually a pretty violent movie for TV movies for back then. Um,
Yeah, okay.
but it's a lot of fun. Really cheesy characters, but the Chupacabra is
Yeah.
actually a guy in a suit.
Oh, right, okay. So it's all it's there's no CGI, it's actual practical effects.
Well, the only CGI they would use for the Chupacabra would just be some enhancements, but most of the time it's 100% practical.
Yeah, yeah, cool, cool. I do like my practical effects. I prefer them to CGI a lot of the time.
Yeah, some shark movies I feel benefit from CGI better than practical because sometimes when you have a practical shark, all it is just the head. Because building a whole shark is a lot worse to make.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think the only time they've had really good practical effect sharks were in Jaws 2 and Deep
Yeah.
Blue Sea.
Yeah, I thought they were quite good, the practical effects in Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, I mean, Jaws, I love the effects in Jaws, but Jaws 2, the shark just does so much more.
Yeah, well, they learned from their mistakes, I think.
Yeah, and then they remembered all their mistakes for Jaws 3 and 4.
Yeah.
um, what would you compare Apex to for a shark book, a shark movie? Like, what would be like it does not necessarily the plot, but as in like the characters or the shark itself.
Hmm.
Because I think I have one that's kind of like it, but not totally.
Um, what was that one? The teenagers they go to the lake house.
That was in theaters.
Yeah, Shark Night.
Yep,
Yeah, maybe like that, I guess, in a way.
just more
Uh,
scientific for Apex.
yeah, 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 yeah. I'd probably say that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I actually watched the effects for that movie recently. The practical effects are great. The CGI is not that good.
yeah, yeah.
Like Sci-Fi
Yeah, I
Channel's
think
been making.
it
That was
was what
2000.
Sarah Paxton.
Yep, it came out in 2011. But
Yeah.
the Sci-Fi Channel's been making better effects than that movie lately.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, like Five-Headed Shark Attack, Toxic Shark. They all have actually pretty decent effects.
Yeah. Okay.
Even and they're even working on like sometimes back when Sci-Fi Channel was making sea creature movies, they would not put any ripples in the water, so there'd be no splash. But now they've really worked on the water, which is a pretty crucial thing into a sea creature movie.
Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, yeah.
And the
You need
water
the physics.
and the water moving around it is not terribly realistic, but it's nice that they have it.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to just have a splash come up and that'd be it, or nothing at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
I'll leave you a link to a video I did for Toxic Shark, and you can just look at the effects for yourself, just to see how they
Yeah.
are.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah. Um, if you were to pick a your favorite shark movie that's not Jaws or Deep Blue Sea, what would it be?
Hmm.
and I know it's not going to be Sharknado.
No way. I cannot bring myself to watch those movies. I just don't have it in me.
I feel ashamed to say that I have all 5 of them on Blu-ray.
Can't do it. Can't do it. No. What was my favorite shark movie? Well, you're really cutting the legs out from under me here. If it can't be Deep Blue Sea,
that's the point. It's funny that
maybe
some people.
I'm gonna have to fall back on Shark Night.
It's funny because some people actually say Deep Blue Sea is better than Jaws. It's their opinion, but I don't agree with it. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you could say that. Like, it's two completely different movies. Like one is pure sci-fi. Like the whole idea of genetically manipulating sharks, for medical purposes, and then you have another one which, like Jaws, is actually based on the 1916 shark attacks in, I believe it was New Jersey.
I think so. Yeah, Jersey, because they called it the Jersey Shore shark attack.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so like there is an actual historical basis for Jaws there. So I think to try and say that Deep Blue Sea would be better than it, I don't think that argument holds any weight. But hey, we're all entitled to our own opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about this before that we started the video, but what do you think of the new Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom movie coming out? Did you see the trailer?
Cannot wait. I thoroughly enjoyed Jurassic World. I actually thought it came close to the original Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Over the years, I love all the Jurassic Park movies, but Part 2 has actually become pretty good to me too. It's like more of a jungle adventure. But my favorite is still the first one.
Yeah, look, number one, was mind blowing. I remember going to see that in the cinemas back in Glasgow when I lived back in Scotland. I remember going with my parents and my wee brother, and I remember jumping at the scene with the raptor, in the bushes, and the guy's sitting there with a shotgun, and he's ready to go, and he's got his eye on the wrong raptor, that will stay with me for the rest of my life. That was great.
I only remember seeing it in theaters because I saw the 3D re-release, which was actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, okay. No, I never went to see the 3D re-release. No.
Yeah, I mean, I was born the year it came out, so I wasn't able to go see it in theaters. But
yeah, you're a wee babby. Too young.
I'm only 24.
Oh well, not bad.
What about I think I've said more ums than I've said actual questions. It's been happening a lot lately. I don't know, but what's your favorite decade for creature features?
Oh, I think it would have to be the 80s. Like, you'll never beat Aliens. I just don't think it's possible. I just do not think you can beat Aliens.
What about favorite decade for creature books?
Probably the noughties. Technically, because I'm a big fan of the Meg books by Steve Alton. So, like, the first one came out in 97. But then all the others. Yeah, second one was 99. Yeah, okay. So I'd either have to say the 90s or the noughties. Yeah. Just for the simple fact that series crosses over into those two decades.
Yeah, my favorite decade for creature books is probably the 70s. A lot of good books from back then. I read a few books in the 70s, like The Rats by James Herbert, which was
you know what? Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna have to completely change. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to completely change because you're 100% right on that. James Herbert, The Rats, and like Lair and Domain They
Yep,
are
I've read all of them.
three of my favorite books. Yeah, no, so no, I'll have to change my answer on that one. Yeah, for sure.
And also Guy N. Smith's Night of the Crabs. I don't know if you read that
Yeah,
one.
I've heard a lot about that, but I've never read it. Yeah, I've heard a
I've
lot
read the
about it.
first two. I've read the first two so far. They're the first one's great. Second one's a little too much sex, but it's okay.
Yeah,
um, and I have all of them. I'm gonna read them so I can review them for Shark Week 5. A shameless
yeah.
plug. Shameless plug. um, what other books were from the 70s that are pretty popular? Um, like there's a lot of novelizations in the 70s, like Grizzly and Prophecy and The Omen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's
Um,
right.
I read Grizzly, uh, which was a lot more violent than the movie. I thought they should have kept it rated R. But I also read all the Omen books, all 5.
Oh yeah,
The first 3 they made into the movies, and the last 2 are separate from the movies. So
yeah. So I remember they did, I think, an Omen 4, which was like direct to video or something like that.
yeah, but that
Uh,
wasn't based off the 4th book. That
yeah,
was
okay, right.
yeah, and then they remade the Omen, which wasn't based off the 5th book either. So
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That had Julia Stiles. Is that?
I think Julia Stiles. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and Lee Shriver.
All I know is it sucked. um. Oh, another good book series from what not Billy Schreiber, but I'll get to him in a minute. From Gary Brander, the Howling series.
Yeah, I did enjoy. I really enjoyed The Howling, um, the original movie. The other ones I wasn't a big fan of. I really did enjoy the first one. It was Joe Dante, I believe, that directed that.
Yep.
That was a solid movie, and like the practical effects once again, thoroughly enjoyed that. Almost as good as the practical effects in American Werewolf in London, which was another great '80s, horror movie. So yeah, I definitely have to say, like, the '80s were just the best,
Yeah, I
best
agree.
decade for creature features. Yeah,
So I'm in the opposite opinion. I think the Howling effects are better than American Werewolf in London, but that's because they scared me. Not the American Werewolf in London didn't really scare me.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Okay.
but I have the third one coming in, but I have the first 2 Howling books,
Yeah,
and I also have the trilogy. I haven't read them yet though. But
yeah,
one book I started reading in high school, but I never got to finish was The Wolfen by
yeah,
Whitley Strieber. And
yeah.
that book just made me feel so uncomfortable. It was like being watched while reading the book.
Yeah, I watched the movie when I was younger. I don't know if I had the best appreciation of it.
Yeah, me too.
I should maybe go back and watch it again.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of the movies I saw when I was a kid was because of my grandfather. Wolfen was one of them. And I
Yeah,
always went to people asking, "Hey, have you seen this movie called Wolfen?" Like, Wolf what? And I saw Alien, Jaws, a lot of movies, but I'm in the small minority that prefers Alien over Aliens.
yeah. See, like two totally different movies. You've got like Aliens, a
Yeah,
horror movie, whereas Aliens is action. But yeah, I just love the Colonial Marines. I love the Xenomorphs, Ripley. Yeah, just every bit about it.
I just feel
Yeah,
that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I used to go to the video shop. This is when I was still back in Scotland before my family emigrated to Australia. I used to go to the video shop every weekend. So our family are Catholic, so we would go to mass, and then after we left mass, I'd be like, right, I want to go to the video shop, and my mother would take me to the video shop, and I would rent Aliens every weekend without fail.
um, I also think that the reason I don't like Aliens over Alien is because I prefer Predator over Aliens. And I think I get my fix with Predator.
Yeah, okay, so like you prefer that single that single creature, taking out,
Uh,
one by one, or
I think it's because I like the camaraderie between the people in Predator more than Aliens.
oh, right. Okay, yeah, got you.
I mean,
Yeah,
Aliens has a great cast of characters. Don't get me wrong, but I grew up watching Predator more.
yeah. None of them really seem to get along, do they? An Alien.
Alien, or
Yeah,
which one?
yeah. If Veronica Cartwright isn't slapping, Sigourney Weaver, or Tom Skerritt yelling at Ripley or whatever. Yeah, they all seem to fight in that. They don't seem to get along at all.
I think everyone was just at their wits' end, and they had high tensions
Yeah,
because they were on the ship for so long. But
yeah, fair enough.
yeah, it's better off for the ship people out there like that. Go collect some rocks and come back when you're calmed down.
Yeah.
I think Veronica Cartwright was supposed to originally be Ripley too, and
All right.
they changed her to be Lambert instead.
Yeah, right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it always amazed me. And spoilers ahead of time that they killed off Dallas so quickly. Like not quickly, but like you don't expect it. Like, oh, he's the captain. He's gonna be the main character. Like
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
other
You just get
movies.
yeah.
And another thing about it is that not that it was as prevalent at that time as it was beforehand, but I always felt that Parker, since he was black and he lasted so long, I was like, wow, you got this black character lasting for quite a while in a '70s movie, even though it was the late '70s and there wasn't as
Yeah,
much racism. But then
yeah. Definitely.
I watched Night of the Living Dead. I'm like, oh, he's the last character, the black guy.
Yeah. Ben. Yeah. Ben makes it all the way. Yeah.
Until that last, oh, well, spoiler, until the last shot of
Oh,
the movie.
yeah.
It was not fair.
Yeah.
At least Black Guy made it in this Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
A lot of people say that black people always die first in horror movies, but you watch films like Predator 2, um, well, they're right. There's a lot of movies where black people die. um, Deep Blue Sea, LL Cool J makes it.
Yeah, that's right.
And wasn't there a Survivor that was black in the Alien franchise? I don't remember. No.
No, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, Alien versus Predator.
Oh well, Sanaa Lathan. Yeah. Alien versus Predator. That's if you count it as canon.
Yeah. Have you ever seen 30 Days of Night?
Yeah. That was a good movie. That was cool.
I have all the books. I gotta read them soon. But let's go
Yeah.
back to the questions. Baron asks, "Have you seen Pumpkinhead? And what do you think of it if you've seen it?"
Yeah. So I've watched 1 and 2, and I quite liked number 1. I thought it was a really interesting premise. Yeah. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Interestingly enough, I feel like maybe they might have taken inspiration from Chupacabra for the for the look of Pumpkinhead, like the actual creature itself. The thing I probably liked the most about Pumpkinhead was the more it became, like the more human it became, like in its face, slowly changing, over time, to become more and more like, I suppose you would say its host, like the person who raises it to come and do its bidding. Yeah, it slowly starts to like meld with them. So I thought that was really cool, and I thought it was good that you actually had a special effects expert directing it. It was Stan Winston, the late Stan Winston. Yeah. No, so I think the design is great, and I would love to see, a new one with a good budget, and a good director behind it. I think they could do really, really well.
Yeah, Pumpkinhead looks a lot like a xenomorph to me.
Yeah, look, I think there's probably a bit of that's a bit of that in its DNA, I would say.
I grew up watching. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, finished.
Okay. I grew up watching Pumpkinhead 3 and 4.
Yeah.
not the worst movies out there. They got good atmosphere and a lot of gore, but nothing
Yeah,
beats the first one, I think.
yeah. Well, I can only say based on having seen one and two, I just didn't think number two stood up to the original.
Number two is a monster movie.
Yeah, yeah,
It
basically.
was a cheesy monster movie. The first one was more serious,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. Very emotional when Lance Henriksen loses his son.
yeah. I was actually watching. I told you before, I was watching a movie with the family, and what I was actually watching was Death Wish. It's not a horror movie, but
Yeah, yeah. I know Death Wish. Yeah, yeah. I can't watch those movies. I really struggle with them.
but
I
just
find
you what?
I was just going to say the concept of rape really turns
Uh,
me off. So
yeah,
that's what I struggle with. Like I remember seeing Death Wish 2 and the rape scene in that, and it's just like I can't watch movies like that. Like I Spit on Your Grave and
yeah.
Human
But,
Centipede 2 and stuff like that.
ugh,
I don't know that there's something about the act of rape that I find completely abhorrent. That's why
mm,
I'm not a fan of Richard Lehman. I just the amount of sexual violence in his books, it actually sickens me. Not to speak ill of the dead, I'm not. I just it's just not for me.
yeah. It was kind of odd to watch that when I was watching it with my mom. She's seen a lot of horror movies, so she was kind of prepared for it. But
Yeah,
and the first Death Wish wasn't too bad. Like the rape wasn't as
yeah,
graphic as like I Spit on Your Grave. But
yeah,
it was a sad movie though for most
yeah,
of it.
yeah. It is,
You
yeah.
feel this guy's struggle.
Yeah,
There was
yeah, of
a,
course. You feel sort of powerless, and you think like the state isn't doing enough to help you. It's sometimes you feel like criminals have more rights than the victim. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, certainly.
I Another movie that was really sad was a recent one actually from early 2000s. Um, called The Butterfly Effect.
Yeah, yeah, that was really sad. That was really really sad.
Yeah, I actually lent that to my grandmother. We're gonna watch that sometime. But it was when I first saw that, I was like, I don't want to die. It's just one of those movies that hits you.
Yeah, sure, sure, for sure.
And then they made two more, and I don't even want to watch them. Um, oh, what do you think about Roger Corman, the 92 year
Roger
old
Corman.
92-year-old producer?
Yeah, look, I think that guy's done really well for himself. Like he can make a movie on a shoestring budget. Like I actually quite like humanoids from the deep.
But you
Even
say you don't
as
like rape.
I know, I do struggle with that, but I think because it's so ridiculous.
Like
Like it's just
schlocky.
like a guy. It's just a guy in a suit falling on top of someone. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's sort of like I suppose it's not as realistic as say as something like I Spit in Your Grave, where you literally
right.
do have six psychopaths out there that will gang rape a human being. Whereas humanoids from the deep, we're talking about salmon men. You know, like I just don't think it's comparable. So yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's probably my favorite Roger Corman movie. I would say either
Um.
that or like one of the Carnosaur movies.
Oh my god, I
Um,
love those movies.
yeah, the third
Uh,
one was ridiculous. At one point, they're just moving through a warehouse filled with cardboard boxes. Like,
the third one, yeah, where they have him like on a
yeah,
skateboard or something. That he's walking.
yeah,
um, I really liked Piranha, the original and the remake
yeah,
actually.
yeah. No, look, yeah, no. I think you've schooled me yet again. I forgot all about Piranha. Yeah, Piranha was good. I loved Piranha Double D. I thought that was hilarious, and
I
it didn't
hated
do
that
as
one.
well as. Oh, I thought it was great. David Hasselhoff. I thought it was brilliant. Like I, I actually showed that to my dad, and the both of us were in tears laughing. Like it was, yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, I think the reason I don't like it is because, well, going back to Piranha 3D, it was a movie made to be bad, but it had the budget to do that. Piranha
Yeah,
3
yeah,
Piranha 3 Double E wasn't made to be so bad it was good. It was just made to be
yeah,
bad. And
yeah,
Piranha 3D was made to be fun.
yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I
not,
still thought Double D was fun. Like
yeah, yeah. I just think they
you know,
didn't have. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, you had the bit with the big guy with the frizzy hair sticking his dick in the jet vac or whatever you want to call it. You had the piranha going up the girl's vagina and biting the guy's dick off, and
Yeah, I
like
mean,
just ridiculousness. I thought it was brilliant, and like David Hasselhoff, with his disdain of ginger kids, and I thought it was hilarious. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
But,
there was some good parts, but I think the best thing about that movie was, I mean, the worst thing about that movie was they used stock footage from Piranha 3D, like for the fish
oh,
most of the time.
okay. Yeah,
There were
yeah.
some practical effects, but like they obviously had, I think the first one had a $25 million budget, and the
Mhm.
Double D had a $5 million budget, so they had to
Yeah,
cut
yeah,
corners.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't like when they reuse footage.
Yeah, yeah, I
But
know what you mean.
there
The
was
Godzilla
also
movies were famous for that.
Godzilla, but Godzilla gets the exception. I was kidding. um, have you ever watched Roger Corman's Piranhaconda?
No, I haven't. No, no. I don't know if I've got the guts for it.
It's pretty fun. Like, it's. Have you ever seen Sharktopus?
No, no, I haven't. I've seen trailers and stuff for it, but no, I haven't watched it. Yeah.
I like Sharktopus. I love Sharktopus versus Terracuda.
Yeah.
I hate Sharktopus versus Whalewolf. There's no no Whalewolf. It acts like a dog. It acts like a pet dog, and I can't stand that.
Yeah. Right. Fair enough.
Um, have you seen the Lake Placid sequels or Anaconda for that matter?
I'm not willing to watch them because I loved Lake Placid that much. And then when I saw the effects, like in one of the trailers, I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not putting myself through it. Like,
Yeah,
I thoroughly, yeah.
do you remember when I was talking about them not having ripples in the water sometimes?
Yeah, 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 yeah. They do that.
Lake Placid 2 and 3, I think. I think 3 does that too. But Lake Placid versus Anaconda probably has the best effects for the Sci-Fi Channel ones.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Anaconda?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually watched it just the other night, funnily enough. Yeah, I do prefer the second one though.
Yeah, I like the second one too. I can't decide which. It's always a toss up between that one and the first one for me.
Yeah, I really do prefer the second one. I like the design of the snakes better.
I think I like the first one better for the effects, but and the gore. But the second one, it was just, I think, a lot more fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, what about, have you ever seen Deep Rising?
Deep Rising. Is that the one with? It was produced by Sean S. Cunningham.
Directed by.
Oh, it was directed by. Yeah, yeah, and it's like the sort of crab lobster creature thing.
No, it's like a kind of like an octopus that goes on the cruise ship and stuff.
Oh, hold on, hold on.
It stars
Yeah,
Treat
yeah, yeah,
Williams.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, sorry, sorry. Yeah, no, I think I was thinking of Deep Star Six.
Well, that's a good one too, with
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
some
don't
nameless
remember the
people.
last time I watched Deep Rising. Actually, I'd need to go back and give it a peek.
Yeah, some effects are terrible, some are okay. But
Yeah, yeah,
what about Leviathan? That came out the same year
yeah.
as Deep Star Six
Leviathan.
with Peter Weller
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah, Peter Weller and Robert Cranmer.
and
Or
Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, Richard Cranmer. Yeah, yeah. Now I've watched that before. I thought it was interesting. The creature. I
Yeah.
think nowadays they'd be able to do it better, but
Oh yeah,
it was okay.
definitely.
Yeah.
Ernie Hudson was in that movie too.
That's right. Yeah.
And spoilers, when he gets killed off, I was pissed. It was the last minute of the movie. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I don't think originally he was supposed to die, but Yeah, for some reason they took him out at the last second.
It kind of like Deep Blue Sea. Susan was supposed to make it, but then LL Cool J made it instead.
Yeah. Well, I think the test audiences didn't like the fact that she'd caused all this and yet was able to live.
Which, if it happened now, they'd be like, "Oh no, she has to make it. There has to be a love interest there."
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, the effects in Deep Blue Sea are pretty good, but
yeah,
Sci-Fi Channel's probably made about the same qualities of effects. Not as many effects in the movie, but they're about the same, pretty much now. Maybe even a little bit better in some regards. Than the CGI, not the practical effects.
Yeah, got you.
But trying to think of something another movie to talk about.
What other questions have you got for me?
Oh, I think I asked most of them. There was only a few, and so I combined some of them when I asked them.
Yeah.
Well, we could wrap it up and after one more question, because that's pretty much all I got left.
Yeah, sure.
So, what advice would you give any writer who wants to work for Severed Press or just a publishing company in general, or just writing tips?
Well, probably the best advice I could give would be, research your genres and research the publishers themselves. So find out what that publisher likes, and try not to venture too much from it. So I would say the same about, if you were going with Severed, we'll use them probably as the best example. Look at the genres that they do, whether it be zombie, sea monster, kaiju, etc.
Zombies.
Yeah, exactly. So you just you want to look at the tropes in those particular genres, and you want to stick to them. That would be my best suggestion. And just write. Just write the thing. Just get in front of your computer, spend as much time as as feasible, and just hammer it out, and go from there.
Sounds
just
good.
Believe in your work. If you know what you want to write, and it's what you want to put out there, just give it your all. There's no point being half-assed. Like when I wrote Apex, I was rather mad at a particular individual from another university. So basically, every time someone dies in that book, I'm envisioning that person getting eaten by a shark. Like this person gave me some really, really bad feedback, like really, really negative feedback about some stuff. And I just felt like it was over the top. Like I can take critique. Like I'm a writer, I can take critique. But I felt like this individual really had a chip on their shoulder. So I thought, well, I'm going to get you back somehow.
mentally or mentally. Can't really go physically with that one.
Yeah, well, exactly. I can't get to him, so just throw him in the water with a Mako shark, and it does the rest.
Kind of like Austin Powers and the Shark Tank.
Exactly.
Well, I think that's all the questions I have, and we talked a bit about horror movies and stuff. So, we should call this interview Horror Show Interview 5. I don't know. A success. Good. Let's call it a success. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, cool. I think so. Right. Thank you very much for having me. And thank you to those people who decided to listen in. And please, go out and get my books, Flux, Apex, Deep Black, all of them.
Yeah. And these are the covers in case you need a second look in case you have trouble finding them. They're all on Amazon, and you can get them on Kindle and paperback. Although these are more like hardcover than paperback. But all right, so I am Brian Gatto, host of Horrorish Entertainment. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below, and also check out Chris McInally's Facebook page and WordPress page, which are also in the description below. And to make sure to leave comments and subscribe.